Most people approach manifestation with words affirmations, mantras, repeating "I am abundant" over and over again. But words alone rarely shift reality because your nervous system doesn't speak the language of words. It speaks the language of safety, energy, and emotion. You could stand in front of the mirror and declare, "I am wealthy" 1,000 times. But if your body is locked in stress, if your heart is pounding with fear, if your breath is shallow, from survival mode, the universe is not receiving well, it's receiving panic. The truth is, manifestation is not about stacking words on top of fear. It's about aligning your biology with possibility. Think about it. If you tell someone you're fine while your voice is shaky, your body language is tense, and your eyes are darting dew, they believe your words or your energy. Always the energy. The universe works the same way. When your nervous system is dysregulated, it sends signals of danger. Not safe, not ready, not now. And the field mirrors that back. That's why people stay stuck. They keep saying the right things, but their biology is broadcasting fear. The body always wins over the mind. Science confirms this. Studies show that when the body is flooded with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, perception narrows. Creativity shuts down. Energy collapses inward. That means you literally cannot connect to the expansive field of possibility. It's like trying to tune into a radio station while static blocks the signal. You catch fragments, but not the full song. So if manifestation isn't about words, what is it really about? It's about the state of your nervous system. Because your nervous system is the gateway. It decides whether you are in survival or creation. It decides whether your signal is static or coherent. And until you regulate it, manifestation will feel like pushing against a locked door. Think about this. For a moment, before your mind interprets anything, before you assign meaning to a situation, your nervous system is already responding. Every sound, every face of news you hear is filtered through your body first. Your heart rate adjusts, your breathing changes, your muscles either soften or tighten, depending on whether your body senses safety or threat. In this way, your nervous system is not just part of your biology, it's the first receiver of your reality. Imagine walking into a room where people are arguing. No one has told you what's going on, but immediately your body feels it. Your stomach tightens, your shoulders rise, your chest feels heavy. That's your nervous system picking up signals before your logical mind even has the chance to analyze. Now, apply this to manifestation. If your body is constantly receiving life through the lens of threat, then every dream you imagine is filtered through survival. And survival does not create. Survival repeats. The nervous system operates in two main states: the sympathetic response and the parasympathetic response. In sympathetic mode, fight, flight, or freeze, your body is locked into survival. Blood flow shifts away from higher reasoning parts of the brain and moves into your limbs for quick reaction. Your perception narrows to detect threats. On the other hand, in parasympathetic mode, often called rest, repair, and creation, your body feels safe. Your mind opens. Creativity flows. You have access to the part of your brain that can imagine, design, and manifest new realities. Most people don't realize they're stuck in chronic sympathetic activation. They think anxiety, tightness, or restlessness is normal, when in fact it's a constant signal of not safe. And here's the truth: if your nervous system doesn't believe it's safe, no matter how hard you visualize abundance, your body won't let you receive it. Because for the body, safety always comes before expansion. Think of your nervous system like the antenna of an old radio. When it's bent or jammed, the signal is full of static. You might catch glimpses of the music, but it never comes through. Clearly, that's what it's like trying to manifest from a dysregulated system. Your intentions are there, your desire is there, but the signal is scrambled. On the other hand, when your nervous system is regulated, It's like straightening that antenna. Suddenly, the music plays clearly, effortlessly. Your signal to the field is coherent, strong, and undeniable. This is why your nervous system is not just biology, it's your gateway to the field. It decides whether you collapse into the same old reality or expand into a new one. It's the filter through which all manifestation must pass. And until you tune it properly, you will keep attracting what matches your survival state instead of what matches your desires. So the question becomes, how do you shift this receiver? How do you move from survival into creation? That's what we'll uncover next. Stress is one of the most underestimated blocks to manifestation. We tend to think of stress as just feeling worried or being busy. But physiologically, stress is an entire state of existence. It's not just in your mind, it lives in your body, in your hormones, in the way your nervous system is wired. And this state has a direct effect on what you can or cannot create. When your body is in stress, it releases cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are designed for survival. They're incredible if you need to run from danger. But here's the catch. Your body doesn't know the difference between a lion chasing you or an overdue bill sitting on your desk. To the nervous system, both signal threat. So even if you're sitting in your living room visualizing abundance, if your mind is racing about debt, your nervous system is locked in fight, flight, and that stress state narrows your perception. This is why people stuck in financial struggle often can't see the opportunities around them. Their biology literally filters reality to only detect threats. The brain scans for danger, not possibility. That's why someone can attend manifestation workshops, repeat affirmations, even create detailed vision boards. Yet nothing changes because their nervous system keeps collapsing the same old reality. Stress is the loop that keeps them bound to the past. Think about this. Have you ever been under so much pressure that you couldn't think clearly? Maybe you misplaced your keys while rushing out the door, only to realize later they were right in front of you. That's stress. It shuts down higher reasoning. Now imagine trying to manifest a new reality from that same state. The very field of possibility is right in front of you, but your body can't access it because it's too busy scanning for survival threats. Here's what neuroscience shows. When you're in stress, your brainwaves shift into high beta fast, chaotic patterns associated with anxiety and hypervigilance. In this state, your body is addicted to the familiar chemistry of stress. You keep thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions, and recreating the same circumstances. You become trapped in what scientists call the predictable past. And here's the kicker. The more you rehearse stress, the more your body believes it is your identity. It locks you into cycles where creation feels impossible. This is why stress is not just uncomfortable, it's a manifestation killer. Because the universe does not respond to words. It responds to your state. If your state is chaos, the field mirrors chaos. If your state is fear, the field mirrors fear. You don't attract what you want. You attract what your nervous system signals is true. The solution is not to force more affirmations. It's to break the cycle of stress. It's to teach the body safety again, so that creation becomes possible. Because only when the body feels safe does it open the door to expansion. And once you understand this, you stop blaming yourself for failed manifestations. It was never about lack of effort. It was about your state. And when you shift that state, everything changes. Let's have an honest conversation about the price of comfort, because it is not free. It might look free on the surface. It might feel harmless when you convince yourself to take the easy route, stay in the job you hate, avoid the conversation you need to have, or push your dreams off to someday. But there is always a cost. Always the cost of staying in your comfort zone is invisible at first. It doesn't show up on a receipt or a bill. It shows up as time slipping through your fingers. It shows up as regret. It shows up as the voice in your head whispering, "There has to be more than this." When you live in your comfort zone, you are paying with your future. You are trading the extraordinary for the ordinary. You are trading potential for predictability. You are trading your power for the illusion of safety. And what's most dangerous is that this trade feels acceptable till one day it dies in single quotes. Think of it this way. Comfort zones are like a small, cozy room. At first, you enjoy the warmth, the familiarity, the ease. But stay there long enough, and the walls begin to close in. The air becomes stale. What once felt safe begins to suffocate you. And when you finally realize it's time to get out, you look back and wonder how many years you wasted staring at the same four walls. This is the silent cost. It's not the pain of trying and failing. It's the pain of never trying at all. And make no mistake, that pain is far heavier than failure. Failure stings for a moment. Regret stings forever. So ask yourself, what has comfort already cost you? What opportunities slipped by because you hesitated? What dreams did you talk yourself? Out of what parts of yourself did you bury because stepping out felt too risky? If you really sit with those questions, you'll see the truth. Staying in your comfort zone isn't neutral. It's not harmless. It's expensive. And the longer you stay there, the higher the price becomes. The tragedy is not in failing. The tragedy is in never stepping outside to see what could have been. Think about this. When you walk into a room where two people have just been fighting, you don't need to hear a single word to know something is wrong. You can feel the tension in the air. Your body picks up on the unspoken energy, the vibration of anger, frustration, or fear. On the other hand, when you walk into a room full of people laughing, smiling, and embracing, you immediately feel lighter, more at ease even if no one speaks to you directly. That is because emotion is the real language of the field. Words are tools for human communication, but the universe, the quantum field, life itself listens to what you feel. This is why gratitude, love, joy, and inner safety carry such incredible creative power. They are the clearest, strongest broadcast signals you can send. Gratitude says, "I already have it. I already feel blessed. I already feel abundant." And when you genuinely feel that way, your body aligns with that reality. Your heart rate steadies, your nervous system relaxes, your brain waves move into coherence. And your cells literally respond to that emotional frequency. Contrast that with fear. Fear tells the body, "I'm not safe. I'm not enough. Something is wrong." And when you live in fear, even unconsciously your body tightens, your breath shortens, your stress hormones rise, your energy field collapses inward, signaling contraction instead of expansion. It's like trying to ask for abundance while your emotional radio is blasting scarcity. The field doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you broadcast. Imagine two people praying. One is saying all the right words. "Please give me peace. Give me health. Give me abundance." But inside, they are filled with worry, desperation, and doubt. The other person simply sits quietly, breathing deeply, embodying gratitude, as if the blessing has already arrived. Guess who the field listens to? The second person every single time. Because emotion is congruence, and congruence is the bridge between thought and reality. Your body doesn't know the difference between imagining something with deep feeling and experiencing it in real life. When you feel joy, love, and gratitude, your brain begins to wire itself into that state. Your body starts producing the chemistry of healing and expansion. The field mirrors that inner coherence back to you as external opportunities, synchronicities, and blessings. This is why so many people struggle with manifestation. They repeat affirmations, but they do not change how they feel. They visualize the life they want, but their emotions remain stuck in fear or lack. That is like typing the right password into a computer but never hitting enter. The system doesn't respond until the signal is sent, and the signal is emotion. If you want to shift your life, you must learn to feel before it's real. Practice gratitude before the blessing shows up. Practice joy before the outcome arrives. Practice love before the relationship comes. Emotion is the code, the password, the true broadcast of your being. When you master your emotional state, you master the signal you send into the field, and life has no choice but to mirror it back. Creation requires expansion. Expansion requires openness. And openness only happens when the nervous system feels safe. Think about it. A flower does not bloom in a storm. When harsh winds whip across the field, when the air is filled with dust and debris, the petals stay closed. The flower knows it must protect itself until the environment calms. But when the sun shines gently, when the soil is nourished, when there is no immediate threat, the flower begins to open. Slowly, effortlessly, it reveals its beauty not because it is forced, but because the environment of safety allowed it to. Humans are the same. You cannot dream big, innovate, or step into your highest potential if your body is stuck in survival mode. When you feel unsafe, your mind is scanning for danger, not opportunity. Your energy is consumed with protection, not creation. You tighten your chest, you overthink, you hesitate. In this state, you are like that flower in the storm closed, cautious, waiting. But when you feel safe, when your nervous system relaxes, the doors of possibilities swing open. Your imagination awakens. Ideas start flowing. You see options you couldn't notice before. Safety tells your body it's okay to explore. Safety whispers, you can try without fear of collapse. Safety gives you the permission your soul has been craving. This is why safety is not weakness. It is the foundation of strength. People often mistake safety for stagnation, but in truth, it is the fertile soil of growth. You cannot leap unless the ground beneath you feels steady. You cannot build unless the foundation is secure. You cannot bloom unless you trust the environment around you. When you cultivate safety inside yourself, you give life permission to expand through you. It might be as simple as reminding yourself, I am supported. I am not alone. I can breathe here. It might be as practical as setting healthy boundaries or creating a space where you can rest without judgment. And as soon as your system feels safe, creation begins naturally, without force. Look back at your own life. Think about the times when you grew the most, when you dared to try something new, when you expressed yourself freely. Chances are you felt safe enough to risk it. Maybe someone believed in you. Maybe you created a ritual that grounded you. Maybe you simply gave yourself permission to fail without shame. Whatever it was, safety was the soil, and growth was the bloom. Just like the flower, you are designed to open. Not when the world demands it, not when fear tightens your chest, but when your heart knows, I am safe enough to grow. If the conscious mind is the captain of the ship, then the subconscious is the ocean it sails upon. 95% of what we think, feel, and do comes from that vast subconscious programming that was written long before we had the awareness to question it. Here lies the challenge. You can consciously decide, I am safe. I am capable. I am loved. But if your subconscious is still carrying the imprint of old wounds, trauma, rejection, or danger, it will override your conscious affirmations every time. The subconscious doesn't understand logic. It understands repetition, symbolism, and most importantly, feeling. This is why merely saying new words or mantras is not enough. You can tell yourself, I am abundant all day long. But if in your body you still feel fear, scarcity, or tightness, the subconscious continues to hold that as truth. And because your subconscious is constantly signaling to your nervous system, your body responds accordingly, keeping you in survival mode. Here's where the key of felt safety enters. Safety, not as a mental declaration, but as an embodied state, has the power to rewrite those old subconscious codes. When you bring your body into a state of deep calm and assurance through breath, visualization, or even simply sitting in stillness, you're giving your subconscious a new reference point. You're saying, this is what it feels like to be safe. This is what it feels like to rest. This is what it feels like to thrive. Think of it like updating the operating system on your phone. If the subconscious is running an outdated program, full of glitches, everything slows down. But the moment you upload a new, smoother system, everything changes faster, clearer, more aligned. Felt safety is that software update for the human system. Consider this. When a child feels unsafe, they close off. Their body stiffens, their eyes look away, their voice quiets. But when they feel safe in the arms of someone who loves them, they relax, laugh, explore, and express themselves. The subconscious is the same. If it feels unsafe, it hides behind fear and protection. If it feels safe, it opens to possibility and rewires itself toward growth. This is why practices like meditation, grounding, and somatic healing are so powerful. They're not about escaping reality. They're about teaching your nervous system and subconscious a new normal. Normal where safety isn't conditional on circumstances, but is cultivated from within. Over time, the subconscious accepts this new felt truth, and the old narratives lose their power. And once that shift takes hold, your external life follows. Because the subconscious runs the show, when it carries the imprint of safety, opportunities appear less threatening. Risks feel manageable, and connections feel natural, instead of dangerous. The entire world begins to mirror back what you've taught yourself to feel. When you rewire your subconscious with felt safety, you stop running from life. Instead, you walk toward it open, ready, and powerful. Most people treat manifestation like a ritual, something they sit down and do once a day, usually in the morning or before bed. They close their eyes, visualize what they want, maybe repeat affirmations, and then get up, hoping the universe took notes. But manifestation isn't a task on a checklist. It's not something you visit occasionally. It's hygiene. It's maintenance. It's a way of keeping your inner world clean so that what flows into your life is aligned with what you truly want. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wait until decay sets in before you act. You don't brush once and expect your teeth to remain fresh forever. You brush daily, sometimes twice a day, because hygiene is ongoing. You keep the system clear so problems don't build up. The same is true with energy. Your nervous system, your emotions, your thoughts, these are the teeth of your inner life. If you don't tend to them consistently, plaque builds up in the form of stress, fear, anger, and doubt. And just like dental decay eventually leads to pain, energetic decay leads to misalignment. A life that doesn't look like the one you imagined. Manifestation is energy hygiene. Every moment, you are either clearing your inner receiver or letting it clog. That means it's less about what you do once in meditation, and more about how you treat yourself in the small, consistent moments throughout the day. Do you pause when stress arises to breathe, release, and return to safety? Do you give gratitude before a meal? Not just to bless the food, but to keep your heart tuned toward appreciation. Do you step outside to reconnect with nature when overwhelm starts to build? These micro practices are your daily flossing. They prevent buildup in your energy field. Imagine your nervous system as an antenna. If you only tune it once in the morning, but spend the rest of the day marinating in worry, anger, or chaos, the signal you're broadcasting is static. Your intention may have been clear at sunrise, but by noon, your field is muddied. Energy hygiene is about cleaning that signal all day long. It's noticing when you're slipping into contraction, then choosing expansion again. It's forgiving yourself for missteps so you don't carry heavy residue forward. It's consistently choosing safety, gratitude, and openness not as a performance, but as a lifestyle. When you see manifestation this way, it becomes less about effort and more about rhythm. Just as you don't stress over brushing your teeth, you simply do it to stop making manifestation heavy. It becomes a natural part of being. You're not chasing results. You're tending to your inner field so results flow naturally. This is how manifestation becomes sustainable. It's not a temporary burst of effort, but an ongoing hygiene of energy that keeps you aligned, clear, and ready to receive. Up until now, most people approach manifestation like they're speaking into a void. They repeat affirmations. They visualize. They write down goals. Yet their lives don't transform in the way they expect. Why? Because they're sending static into the universe instead of a clear signal. Words without state are noise. Thoughts without coherence are scattered. Energy? The true breakthrough isn't in saying more affirmations or visualizing harder. The breakthrough is in realizing that manifestation is not about effort. It's about alignment. Think of it this way. A radio doesn't need to scream louder to reach a frequency. It just needs to tune in correctly. Once the dial is aligned, the signal is crystal clear. That's what happens when your nervous system and your heart move into safety, gratitude, joy, and coherence. Suddenly, the universe can hear you because your signal is no longer scrambled by fear or doubt. This is the real shift, moving from words to state. From chasing to allowing. From pushing to aligning. You don't need to force the field to deliver. The field is already responding, always, to who you are being. And when who you are being vibrates safety, gratitude, love, and trust, the field responds instantly, like a mirror reflecting your truest self back at you. It's like walking into a locked room. If you pound on the door, yell, and beg, nothing opens. But when you finally find the key, the door swings wide effortlessly. The key is coherence. The key is nervous system safety. When your body feels safe, your energy expands instead of contracts. And in that expansion, manifestation stops being a distant possibility and starts being an immediate reality. Notice how everything changes when you shift your state. Opportunities begin to align without effort. The right people show up at the right time. Synchronicities multiply. This isn't coincidence, it's coherence. You've stopped broadcasting confusion and started sending a clean, powerful signal. The real secret is this: the universe doesn't care what you say. It cares what you broadcast. And what you broadcast isn't your words, it's your state. That's why gratitude is more powerful than 1,000 affirmations. That's why joy reshapes reality faster than struggle. That's why safety unlocks creation while fear shuts it down. So here's the invitation. Stop asking, what words should I use? And start asking, what state am I living in? The shift isn't about trying harder. It's about tuning better. Manifestation isn't a test of endurance. It's a matter of alignment. Once your nervous system feels safe, once you've dropped into gratitude and coherence, the field doesn't delay. It doesn't hesitate. It responds instantly because, finally, you're tuned to the right station. That's the breakthrough. That's where everything you've been asking for is waiting.